Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 13th of November. So, today then, what we've got lined up. Firstly, firstly, he says, not not a great deal lined up today. Let's have a look at the news. Is not well. We've seen news this morning. We've seen unemployment data. We got the UK GDP data. That's Australian employment data, which has come out very sweet, putting pressure on keeping interest rates untouched going forward with the Aussie, but they are relatively low and been stable for most of the time. The UK, some atrocious GDP results below the headline figures here, which are bad anyway, but disappointing. But when you look at the negatives sitting there, manufacturing production, it's down 1.4% more than expected. You've got the industrial production, so that's manufacturing production, industrial production, minus 2.5, so another 1.2 less than expected. This is not a good sign of a strong economy. However, not done a lot of harm to the currencies at the moment. Maybe, I mean, Trump has now signed off, and the US government shutdown is finished, so it's back to work. People will get paid again eventually, but it's markets this morning just gone flying there on the looking at these. Why so much so quickly there is not completely clear to me, because the US data or information was known beforehand or expected to happen anyway, so that would have been priced in. Anyway, let's look and see what technicals we've got to run at the moment. Looking at the lot of them, because what they've just done this, it doesn't help our case too much. We have seen the euro. Now this is an important point here, because the euro has just run it into the underside of its monthly pivot. Now a stall and reaction to this could see it rolling over. It broke out of this triangle, a funny old triangle, because normally you have the flat top and the triangle goes the other way. But anyway, it's broken at the top of that, or whatever you call it, a flag, if you may be, an ugly flag. It's pulled back obviously yesterday, and then went yesterday afternoon again, and it's gone this morning. The overall price action's not that sweet in terms of what we're seeing here. Quite ugly for long periods, flat, and then just boom. So I'll watch this carefully this morning, really looking for the reaction to see what reaction, if any, it has to its monthly pivot. If it breaks through, we've still got potential resistance into the 34 and 50. So personally, I won't be chasing that too early this morning for sure. Not like I ever really want to trade it early. The pound dollar, even with the bad news, because of the weaker dollar coming through there right the way across the board, and we're seeing quite some big moves across the board against the dollar. Well, even the pound's making a move here. It's being dragged along. It's just, as you say, see how soft the dollar is. Where from here, I certainly wouldn't be looking to go long on this at this stage, although who knows, a weak dollar will see all of these currencies probably pushing up, but there's probably stronger currencies against the dollar than the pound at the moment. Talking of which, it's certainly in the yen. So yesterday, yen carried on pushing up there, or dollar yen carried on pushing up there. We are seeing a bit of action now. Too early for me to be looking for the short side on this. I need to see some lower highs coming through, and a bit of a structural change, preferably on the 4-hourly time frame, to be looking again back to the short side. At the moment, this has been quite ugly most of its time, pushing through there to the upside. So I know there'll be people thinking, oh, this is definitely a short. Yeah, it's sort of done a triply top. Their lower highs effectively, these last two from the first one. Yeah, might switch round, we'll see, but I'll wait until it does show its hand clearly. Australian dollar, well, this is the shining star, pushing up there solidly. It's been pushing up decently. It went through and eventually yesterday the monthly pivot there, and so this is looking more solid, but it's coming up to its quarterly pivot now. So just as you think, whoa, hey, well, it may stall as well. We're not far away from that quarterly pivot. It's, as I say, early morning. Okay, we've seen the Australian moves there, the good jobs report initially, and this current surge. Be careful. We could be seeing these turn, and if I was looking for them to turn, I wouldn't be looking to short the likes of the Aussie. There's better currencies, maybe the pound, worth shorting. Canadian dollar, well, it's been sitting onto its monthly pivot there. Had a little bounce away from it, breaking down now. This is looking a bit more solid, as with many of the commodity currencies. Overall looking quite like it's going to break down some more. It broke down earlier in the week there yesterday. It continued its path a little bit, then bounced a little, but the overall trend, but again, it's a slow old move here. It's hardly moving with the momentum that we saw in this sort of move here, but it could be picking up again. I'd wait for this morning a little bit. It's got a terrible habit of catching people out. New Zealand dollar, now I know a lot of you will be looking at this in 15-minute time frames, and some of these look absolutely stunning. This New Zealand dollar, if you look at a 15-minute time frame here, just choose that to a 15. Beautiful, look at it go. But the momentum is slowing in it. You can see the bars are gradually getting slightly smaller. Maybe as we're running into 8 o'clock we might get a little bit more of a boost, but be careful. It's risky old place. It has on the 4 hourly put higher lows in there. It was looking quite ugly up until recently in the 4 hourly point of view, so tread carefully. This could be another one that runs back to the downside if we see a reversal this morning. At the moment it's all looking shiny, but just as I say, be very careful when you get a surge like this running through with no other significant news that I can see at the moment, unless I'm missing something. Right across the board. Right, Swissy was doing all right. It has been doing all right. This is continuing on the downside, lower highs, lower lows. It had the momentum, overall momentum. You look at the sort of surges and the moves that we saw the earlier stages here. It's slowed down. It's had retraces in between. Again, a little bit more messy, but this is already unfortunately gone today for me. It's probably too far run. It's run too far already. Can't get into it at the moment. Okay, other markets running quite well, as like the euro yen continued to push up here. It did have opportunities yesterday to look for, but they weren't. They were really quite minuscule in terms of what I was looking at on them yesterday. It just gone up quite early there. It continued to push through, but and it's looking shiny at the moment, but no real solid retrace. If you're looking for a reversion sort of to the mean to then get long on this, it's not really helping too much. It's just going, gone. Likes the euro pound. Well, euro pounds had euros showing this real weakness of the pound over the last couple of days. Yesterday it shot up, and well, it's doing similar today. So in terms of looking around, if you're looking for shorting opportunities, pound Aussie, well, it's unfortunately gone at the moment. It might continue through here. It's just a case of, if you're swing trading, waiting, being patient. Euro Aussie actually has gone down quite nicely as well. This was one where you got the sort of head and shouldery pattern kicking through there. It's broken the neckline yesterday and sliding its way down. But it's gone for today at the moment. Such a big move. You've already through to its S2s. I always feel like I'm the bearer of sad news at times. When you look at these markets. Right. let's look at the usual suspects. In gold, up nicely this morning, continuing its overall move there, back heading up there. See those doomsayers that were suggesting that gold was that was it. It did look soft, but technically it changed. It put the higher lows in right away back here. It put the higher low in. Got very ugly for a week there, and this week it's been pushing up there quite nicely from that consolidation and pushing back, and well, going fine at the moment. Oil down a fraction today, but certainly yesterday, solid down day. It is a patience game on this thing so often, but that really tips there. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. The best times to trade it is in the afternoon. Well, Western Texas. But wow, did that go consolidating where it is at the moment? Could see a continuation to the downside there. Just got to be a bit careful in terms of support levels coming into play, but it does look quite soft still. Okay, equity markets briefly then. We've got at the moment S&P still pushing up here. It's not the, I mean, yesterday, okay, reopening of, and the chances of a cut of interest rates again in December, there's being increased. Again, it's hardly a flying market at the moment. It's struggling to get back up there currently. It had its lovely bounce. Currently though, it is struggling, but we could see these markets push up this afternoon and continue. So there certainly is the potential. FTSE's down at the moment. Solid down on the short time frame. Well, it's up on the day actually. Looking at it on a daily basis, but again, I wouldn't be trying to go against this. I know people think, well, it's all-time highs and things like this. It can carry on putting in all-time highs. It's not being necessarily bought from UK traders. Other people want a bit of this action. It's off the pound, makes some of the stock market look a bit cheaper. Anyway, might be even some value in. So lower highs, not potential on the break of the lows there, but personally, I wouldn't be trying to trade that against that. The one I normally trade against is the DAX, but even this is now, you see it, last couple, few days here, we've been pushing up since Monday. It's Friday it started, but Monday's been pushing through there. Nice little retrace into there on Tuesday, and then since then, well, yesterday, slow during our period. The afternoon certainly given some of the better moves initially. This is coming off at the moment. At the moment, it could really, for me, it's just a buyer. Yes, there'll be divergence across the highs here. There you go. But they could be triggering quite simply between the two highs here and say over here. Even a break of the low would be a break below that pivot. But it's only a one-to-one target on something like that, which doesn't look like very much, and it's quite risky against that strong trend. Right, okay, guys, not a lot else to add this morning. I feel a bit apologetic over the fact that the market's already moved before we've looked at it, and a lot of people now start around looking there to try and get into some of this and go chasing. Now, Euro can push up further, of course, but I'm always suspicious when things run so quickly on that 7 o'clock bar. Anyway, my suspicion may be held. We'll see. Right, I'll leave it there, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye for now.